Hey there, it is me, attorney Hadi Harp, and on today's estate plan chat, we're going to be talking about how your kids may receive their inheritance. Okay, it's something that a lot of parents don't really think about when they're first coming into the office to discuss their estate plan, but it's something that they definitely want to have some input on once the issue is presented to them. So, in the typical scenario where someone sets up a will-based estate plan, what a will is doing is just telling the world, hey, these are the assets that I have, and I want them to go to person X, Y, and Z. So, in an example where you have a parent who is leaving behind one child who is 18 years old, and that parent has $200,000 uh, in their bank account. Once that parent passes away and that child receives their inheritance at the age of 18, they're going to get that $200,000 all at once. It's going to be in their account at the age of 18. There's really not going to be anything stopping the child from buying a Tesla, investing in some cryptocurrencies, um, you know, doing whatever he wants with that money as soon as he gets it. He inherited it through his parents' will. It's free for him to do as he pleases. It's also free for creditors to then knock on his door and use that money to satisfy a lawsuit or a judgment, or maybe they get divorced. And that money is, now part of that possible family. If he put that money inside of a joint checking account with his spouse. So anything can happen once someone inherits property through a will. All right. What's beneficial with a revocable living trust is that you can put benchmarks and conditions on the assets you leave behind. So, for example, that same parent, and my typical recommendation is that they stagger distributions out at different ages. So instead of giving that child $200,000 at 18, you can maybe say he gets nothing at 18 other than money to support himself for education, health, and maintenance if he needs it. And he's only going to get 25% of that $200,000 at the age of 21. He'll get another 25% of that at the age of 25. And then he'll get the rest of it maybe at the age of 30 or 35. You can really structure it however you want, and you are basically able to control your assets and how they're distributed to your kids even when you're not around. So that's one of the benefits of setting up a trust and leaving your assets behind through a trust, because it gives you the opportunity to sort of manage those assets and keep them out of your kids' hands, just to make sure that they're doing the right things. Maybe you want to say, my kids don't get anything unless they graduate from college. You can say that. You can put restrictions in there so that your kids uh, maybe do things you want them to do, or maybe you want to keep them out of harm's way. Maybe they have creditor problems. Maybe you're afraid that giving them the money outright could be spoiled because they're they could get divorced. So there's a lot of ways to keep money inside of the trust rather than just distributing it to them. Okay, that can be beneficial when setting up a revocable living trust versus the situation we discussed initially. You've got a will, they're going to get that cash immediately, one stop drop. Okay, with a will. So that's today's video. Hope it was informative. It at least gives you some ideas of what's going on here in terms of how to leave behind your assets for your kids. As always, you can visit estateplanchat.com if you want to talk about this a little bit more. Thank you. I appreciate you as always, and I will talk to you again in another video soon.